Hello there. Kept you waiting, didn't I? Don't worry. It's not vape. It's the fog of Silent Hill. So a lot of you have probably been wondering where my video for Silent Hill 2 is because I have not yet uploaded it. And that's because I do this weird thing where I contemplate sometimes. And Silent Hill 2 is a meaty game with a lot to process. Um, I've basically just been, I replayed it several times. I got different endings. I mold it over in my head. I even do this weird thing where I'll look up other people's videos to see what they think about it. And the discourse around this game is fucking stupid. I'm not going to lie. If you're curious, this video is going to be overwhelmingly positive. But, like, there's a lot of people that hate this game, and I think it's really kind of stupid. Because if I had to be blatantly honest, and I'm gonna, too long didn't read. This is just, what you need to know for the whole video. If I'm gonna be honest, Silent Hill 2, out of like the big three that we had this year, which would be Silent Hill 2, Dead Space, and Resident Evil 4, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Silent Hill 2 is the best fucking remake we've had this year. It's the best one. And I know that's gonna like ruffle some feathers probably, but you'll get over it. Watch my video, see what I say about it. But before we get too deep into this, I just want to make it abundantly clear that I am a big fan of Silent Hill. I really like these games. They're a lot of fun. They're quite enjoyable. Literally the only one I don't have. No. The only two I don't have. I don't have Shattered Memories because fuck the way they rewrote that story, and I don't have Book of Memories. I think is what it's called on the Vita. I never got my hands on a copy of that. I want to play it, but I never got my hands on a copy of it. But I love the Silent Hill 2, the Silent Hill 2. I love the Silent Hill franchise. And I really like the Silent Hill 2 remake. If Alone in the Dark is the progenitor of the, survival horror series as we know it, which I even have the new Alone in the Dark game and I need to get back to playing it. I played a portion of it. It's not bad. Uh, it's not bad. If Alone in the Dark is the progenitor, Resident Evil really, popularized it. I think that Silent Hill as a series is what revolutionized horror because it's not just about bombastic soldiers versus monsters. It's not even like, granted there is a cult, but it's not heavily in the occult. A lot of what happens in Silent Hill is literally just the spooky magic of the town fucking with you, and I've always loved that. Silent Hill almost always revolves around trying to find someone and just the shenanigans that ensue while you're in the town. It's pretty good. But before I get too far into this, there's something I need to get off my chest. There is a gameplay mechanic in Silent Hill 2 that people really haven't been talking about, in my opinion. And I just want to go out on a limb and say that if you're a person that hated Silent Hill Homecoming because it had good combat and a dodge button, I want you to go fuck yourself. Because Silent Hill 2 has the same goddamn combat that Homecoming did, and everybody's acting like it's the greatest fucking game on the planet. I'm butthurt about that. I've been butthurt about that. Silent Hill Homecoming is not amazing. It's not as good as the first four games, first three if you really want to be, that guy. But Silent Hill Homecoming was a good game. It was not bad. It was not bad at all, and you need to go fuck yourself if you're going to be sitting here going, "Oh, Silent Hill 2, this is the best thing since sliced bread," while you were shitting on Homecoming. Same fucking combat system. The same shit. Anywho, so I'm going to talk about a few things about the Silent Hill 2 remake. Again, it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. There are very few negatives that I have with the game, so maybe I'll get those out of the way real quick. The only thing that persistently bothered me through my entire playthrough, was how whenever my camera would get too close to a wall, it would spaz out, and that breaks immersion immediately. I didn't have that issue in Resident Evil 4. I didn't have that issue in Dead Space. Why the fuck is it happening in Blooper Team's game? I don't understand. It's very annoying. It's infuriating. But there's very few negatives I have to say about this. The only other negatives I'll go over when I talk about the stories and the characters and things like that. But there's really not a lot of negatives. Granted, during the gameplay sections, I'm sure a lot of people have complained about how many boxes you push, a la The Last of Us, or how many wall barriers you break through and whatnot. And I get that. I understand that it's monotonous, and it happened maybe one time in the original game where you used your stick to break a wall when you're in that hole. But the reason this shit exists is just to break up the level. All it exists for is to break up the monotony of go through door. That's all it is. When you're climbing over or clambering under or breaking barricades and shimmying through, it exists to break up the monotony of person go through door. So I understand why it exists and I understand why people are annoyed at it, but I don't care. I really don't care. So let's talk about this game real quick. The gameplay I thought was almost pitch perfect. I loved just how immersive the game was. From the sound design, which let's be real, the original soundtrack carries the fuck out of this game. Some of the tracks didn't sound quite right, but I get it. Akira Yamaoka re-recorded everything, redid everything, and it's not just for him. I'm sure it's not just niche video game music anymore. He's a composer at this point. He wants to get himself on some fucking list. He wants to do movie work. So I get it why it sounds a little bit different and not as iconic as the original music was, but it was still really good hearing not just the instrumental parts, the stuff that actually sounds like music, but also hearing the guttural sounds of Silent Hill and the creepy noises and the loud bangs and everything. Everything about the fucking audio design in this game was really, really good, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I even had to restart my Let's Play because I wanted it turned all the way up in my headphones so it would really immerse me. And then I realized there was a fucking echo and I had to re record a whole bunch of shit. But sound is good. Really good. The gameplay was also quite good. James is not, a soldier. He's not a special forces agent. He's a fucking dude. And so him screaming and getting winded and hitting monsters and doing all the things that he did, I thought that was well designed. I liked that a lot of the puzzles were revamped. I liked that a lot of the levels were revamped. Like if it had been exactly the same, I would have enjoyed that because I think that's a criticism I had for Resident Evil 4 is they changed too much. But like I get what they were going for with this one because this, Silent Hill is not the Resident Evil puzzle box mansion situation. Silent Hill is a place. It's a place with buildings. And these buildings have a lot of rooms and a lot of this and that. So I get why they did it. The only part of the game that I wasn't really too keen on was probably the labyrinth, which was admittedly awful in the original game, but it was better in this one. And all the puzzles were pretty damn good. I didn't have to use the wax and the horseshoe this time, so that was a plus. But everything about the gameplay seemed cohesive. I enjoyed the puzzles. I enjoyed the exploration. Um, it was pretty good. One of the additions that freaked me the fuck out the entire time and was annoying as hell was how mannequins would hide. Like after the first few times, I was like, okay, they're hiding, but I didn't realize that they didn't respond to the radio until they were active. So I kept getting punched in the side of the head by them, which was always fun, but a little annoying, if you know what I mean. All of the monster designs are great. The revamped bosses are awesome. The only complaint I would have is they redid the spider thing for the Maria fight or the Mary fight or whatever, the final boss fight. And I think if they had saved the spider thing for the end and just kept the flesh lips boss the way it was originally with several of them, I think that would have been better. Because the spider thing was cool, but you can't redo that shit. You can't. That's bad game design when you redo that shit. Just save it for the final boss, and we'll be like, "Oh no, it's a spider." But like when you get to the end, and you're like, "Oh, it's a spider again." That's a problem. But the gameplay was excellent. The level of exploration was excellent. I love how the map kept up with me. The little notes that were on the map, which I didn't always use them, and I didn't always notice them. Like replaying it, I noticed when I had that puzzle in the hospital with the several weird symbols. That was on the map. Oh God, I got to keep myself in frame. I have a bad habit of not looking at the camera because I stare longingly into my own eyes. Anywho, the um the gameplay was great. It was very well designed. It was very well done, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Um, the characters. So I think that every character in this was much improved upon, except for one, and I'll talk about him in a minute. But from James Sunderland, who, let's be honest, is a monster. He's a monster in his own right. To Laura, to Angela, to Maria, to Mary, everything was good. I just didn't like Eddie. And I think it's because they tried to make him way too sympathetic. They made him way too much of a loser. And in the original, he is unhinged almost from the get go. Um, but in this one, he was just kind of a loser up until you hit the prison, and then he went full psycho. And I don't think it hit the way it needed to. His boss fight was not poorly designed, although it was a nightmare replaying it and trying not to use the gun because there was a trophy for beating the shit out of everything. But overall, I enjoyed all of the characters. Angela probably being the best. The redesign of her character, the way that she acted her lines, the extra little moments they threw in there, all of that was very well done. The way that she reacted to James, the way she reacted during the boss fight, all of it was well done. I think that her voice actress did a great job portraying this character. And again, like I said, I know the discourse is wild around this game, but the people that are like, oh, she's not very attractive, she's a victim. Can we stop thinking that every game character needs to be the sexiest thing alive? Like, I'm playing Stellar Blade right now, and my problem in Stellar Blade is finding an outfit I put this poor girl in where she doesn't look like a fucking hooker. Every time I put her in an outfit and start sprinting, I'm like, I can see up her fucking skirt. It's annoying. It's really distracting. But Angela's character was very well done and very well portrayed. Laura, the redesign to her face and everything, because let's be real, she kind of looked monstrous in the original game. Even with the high res graphics, she looked kind of uncanny valley. She looks like a kid now. She looks like a person, and I think that her voice actress did very good with her as well. And I enjoyed the interactions between the two of them, and I thought that was good. Maria was also very well done, except for literally one scene, and this is another actual negative towards the game. The scene of anyway, the original voice actress from the original Silent Hill 2 did a much better job with that scene than this new Maria did. I've heard a lot of people criticize the scene where James and Maria are on opposite sides of the bars and the characterization switches from Mary to Maria. I didn't have as much of an issue with that scene as I think a lot of other people did. But the big cringe moment for me was the anyway. I did not like the delivery on that at all. It was not good. And this is after I had to play through literally all of Resident Evil 4 separate ways and deal with Ada's garbage voice acting. Is it better than that? Yeah, but still kind of a problem. But the big character of this game is James Sunderland. And I think that his portrayal was very good. He starts off as a very, in many people's opinion, docile, kind, quiet man, but he's actually a fucking monster. My favorite thing that they did with the remake, although I do miss the line of "I don't need you anymore. I needed someone to punish me," that sort of thing, was completely removed from the Pyramid Head pre-fight. But the moment where Maria is murdered once again in front of him to punish him, where he breaks down and just screams, excellent, beautiful, the best shit. That was hardcore. The emotion, the characterization, the framing, everything about that was fucking master class. It was good. But I think all of the characterization in this game was very well done. So that just leads me to like the last point, which isn't a very difficult point to discuss, the story. Silent Hill 2's story is very simple. You know, you jump into a game like Resident Evil, and that story is complex. That story spans decades with different biocorps and different, people in charge, like the differences between Oswell E. Spencer and Marcus and all that. It's a very complicated story about bioweapons, greed, the search for immortality, the Wesker children. It's so convoluted. The story of Silent Hill 2 is Mary. That's all it revolves around. Mary. James goes to Silent Hill 2. Silent 2. James goes to Silent Hill looking for Mary. So there's a thing that I didn't realize for a long time, and I think that Silent Hill 2 will clear it up for a lot of people as well. The The time frame. So Laura does know Mary. Laura was in the hospital with Mary. Mary didn't die 3 years ago. That's what James tells himself, because 3 years ago was when the disease first started to happen. That's when his wife died. James had recently murdered Mary, and in his decayed mental state, his psychosis, his complete breaking of his mind, he went to Silent Hill looking for her. That shit happened recently. He killed his wife. And, if you watched the last few parts of my Let's Play, I did some fun things at the end there, but I'm not going to lie. Me being the voice inside James' head and saying the things I said was acting, yes, but I'm not going to lie. It really struck me differently than I thought it would. Because when I first played Silent Hill 2, I was a teenager. All I cared about was, not getting my ass kicked in school and trying to pass my classes. But now I'm an adult and I have a wife and I love my wife. She's done immense things for me. Like, you guys have watched my channel for a long time, and if you go and dig through my channel, you'll see me break down like a little bitch on video after the whole Florida thing where I almost killed myself, which is another thing that Silent Hill 2 really focuses on, is the thoughts of suicide. You'll see me break down like a little bitch and cry and all this because my mental state was shitty for so fucking long. I have suicidal clinical depression. And my wife has helped me immensely with that. She understands, she talks to me, she helps me through my shit. She doesn't coddle me or baby me. And sometimes she's fucking mean. She'll be like, "You need to get your shit together." And I love her for that because she helps me get through my shit. So in the game, when I'm playing it, and I got to the part where it revealed what he did to his wife, I'm not gonna lie, it fucking hit me hard in my chest because it's really fucking rough. I don't know how many of you out there in my audience are married. I know some of my closest buds are still living that hardcore bachelor life. But if you've got a wife and you played this game, it had to hit you in your chest. To murder someone you vowed to go through sickness and health with because they're sick makes you a shitty person. And that's why I've always felt like the in water ending is what James deserves. You deserve to die too, James. That's the thing with Silent Hill 2, though. It doesn't matter how you play, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what ending you get. All of it leads back to one thing: James killed his wife. And whether it was a mercy killing or whether it was out of selfish spite, he killed his wife. He's not a good guy. He's not a hero. He's not a protagonist. He's a fucking monster. And I think Silent Hill 2 Remake kept that where it needed to be. Because with the updated graphics, with the facial animations, and just seeing the way he moves his eyes, anytime Mary came up, anytime someone asked him a question about her, anytime he thought about her, you could see it in his face and you could see it in his eyes. And that right there, boys and girls, is good game design. Because James is a monster. And he deserves everything Silent Hill throws at him. But honestly, I really enjoyed this remake. I think the discourse around it is stupid. People complaining about dumb shit. Oh, I don't like how many times you have to push a box or break through a wall. Okay. What do you think about the immersion? What do you think about the soundtrack? What do you think about the enemy design? Like, I don't like that there's zippers on the lying figure. Yeah, the zippers are fucking stupid, but it's still a lying figure. I think that I think that I'm the kind of guy who can retract his statements. Like, I'll never retract my statements on Resident Evil 7. I still fucking hate that game with a passion. But I had no faith whatsoever in Silent Hill 2. I had no faith in Konami. I had no faith in Blooper. I've not played any of the other games. I've got, like, I think I've got Observer. I think I've got it digitally. I don't know. I need to look. I still haven't played the Median because that Medium. Still haven't played that because it never comes down in fucking price, and I don't like playing my Xbox. But this was the first game I played from these guys. The first game I played all the way through. And I'll be honest, I am fucking shocked with how well they executed this task. And I'll be honest, if Konami wants to greenlight them to remake 1, 3, 4, I am so fucking down for that. Because they did a great fucking job with this game. And anybody out there that's like, this game's a piece of shit, you're a bad reviewer. You're dishonest. You're letting your bias towards the original game and your hatred for new things. Oh, it all looks the same. It's over the shoulder like Last of Us. Yeah, a lot of games look the same now because over the shoulder is a pretty fucking basic thing. We don't have games that have the camera pulled all the way back out anymore. We don't have a lot of isometric games. Well, we have these, but you don't focus on those. We don't have a lot of games that have fixed camera angles anymore. No, it's over the shoulder. It is immersive. It plays well. It's great. The only problem is the camera spazzes the fuck out when I get near a wall. Shut the fuck up. You're a bad reviewer. You have bad taste. You have bad opinions. Silent Hill 2 is actually really fucking good, and I'm really surprised at how good it is. And if Blooper wants to make some more of these, I am so down because I love Silent Hill. I love the atmosphere. I love the story. I love the town. I'm the kind of guy that every time you get out in the early morning and it's foggy as shit, I'm like, Silent Hill, take me. I'm ready. Because the idea of literally beating the shit out of my actual demons would be so cathartic. I don't care how monstrous the depression demon is. Let me hit it with a piece of wood. But yeah. Silent Hill 2, great. Good game. Great music, obviously carried by the original soundtrack. Great characters, great gameplay. It's good. If you haven't played it yet, I recommend getting a copy of it because it's a fucking great experience. It's not perfect. No game is. But it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, what did you think? Have you played it? Did you watch my Let's Play on it? Did you hate it? Give me your thoughts down below. And for the love of God, stop hating Homecoming so much. It was good. It was fun. It had a weird twist, but it was alright. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and dislike accordingly. And I will catch you guys in the next thing I do, which is probably going to be a Let's Play of Those Who Remain. I think that's the name. I always fuck up the name. But Dale has been asking me for a long time to fucking play this game. And I don't want to run into another alien isolation incident where I had to be forced to play the game because he was threatening me. And I'm not going to go into any details on that, but I'm probably going to play Those Who Remain next. And we'll see where we go from there. But I hope you guys have been well. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And I will see you in the next video. I'll also see you in that foggy town of Silent Hill. Take care.